The conversation around love and marriage Huntsville has shifted in a way that none of us can ignore anymore. The people are talking and they aren't whispering. They're saying the show might be on its last leg. They're saying the ratings are low. They're saying viewers walked away because the energy changed. The storylines became forced, and the people who once carried the show either left or were pushed into the background. And when viewers start pointing fingers at Carlos King and Martell Holt as the reason the show fell apart, it makes you sit back and ask, what actually happened here? What's wild is how casual the conversation has become about LAMH being canceled. Viewers are dropping comments like it's already a done deal. People are bored. Fans who used to watch every week aren't even checking for it now. And at the center of all of this is a simple truth. The show lost its heart. The moment Melody walked away, the show changed. The moment the chaos became more important than the story, the tone shifted. And the reason viewers keep bringing up Carlos and Martell is because both of them played a huge role in the downfall. Sad part is, this show had potential. You could see it. You could feel it. The early seasons had real storylines, real tension, and real people. You had couples that were actually building something. You had conflict that came from real life. And then you had people like Miss Wanda who brought natural chaos, not manufactured, not forced, just her being exactly who she is. People tuned in to see the cast be themselves, not versions of themselves created for the camera. But something changed. Instead of letting the cast be real, the show started depending on shock value, tired arguments, and repetitive feuds. And the biggest blow was how Melody was treated. You can't talk about low ratings without being honest about how she was pushed into the villain role while Martell was protected. You can't talk about the collapse without talking about how he was allowed to run wild with no accountability, even when he crossed lines that should have had consequences. The moment he went public with revenge behavior, that should have been the end of it. That should have been the line. After everything he put Melody through. The cheating, the disrespect, the lies, the danger he placed her in. He should have been held accountable. Instead, he became the center of chaos and got rewarded for it. When a man sees that being messy benefits him, he won't stop. And he never did. We also saw the emotional shift in Melody. She tried to film, she tried to stay professional, she tried to move forward. But the moment she realized she was being set up for storylines that were rooted in her pain, not her progress, that's when she stepped back. And the rest of the cast followed their own motives. Some wanted fame. Some wanted sympathy. Some wanted to attach themselves to her name. Some wanted to pick at her, only to cry and play victim when she responded. And while all this was unfolding, Carlos King acted like he had no idea. That's what made viewers frustrated. Every time a question came up about the future of the show, about cast changes, about ratings falling, he gave the same answer. It's up to the network. But fans started noticing that he knew more than he claimed. Other cast members even suggested that he hides information or pretends to be in the dark when he already knows a show is struggling. Then you add the weird breaks, long breaks, random breaks, short seasons. Nothing kills a show faster than disappearing from the screen. Viewers can't connect with the cast when the cast barely appears. That's exactly what happened with Love and Marriage DC, and now it's creeping into Huntsville. People can't stay loyal to a show that doesn't stay consistent. But the moment that truly revealed Carlos's fear was when Kinney interrupted him on his show. She was signing off, moving on, and you could see him panic. He didn't want another IA moment. He didn't want another cast member quitting live. And even though he didn't say the exact words, you could hear the fear in his voice. That situation showed that he still carries trauma from cast members taking their power back in public, because that destroys the illusion of control. Fans know. They notice everything. And that's why they're blaming both Carlos and Martell. Carlos for letting chaos drive the storyline instead of real life. Martell for constantly dragging the show backwards and creating negativity that never ends. If your main male cast member refuses to grow, refuses to take accountability, refuses to show anything beyond his ego and drama, The show can't move forward, and viewers are tired of watching him repeat the same behavior every season, while everyone around him pays the emotional price. The numbers don't lie either. The season premiere pulled in only 219,000 viewers with a 0.03 demo. That is dangerously low for a show that once carried OWN. And when you check the most recent episode and see no official ratings available, you already know what that means. Fans aren't tuning in. Instead, they're online calling the show boring, fake, and a mess. They're saying the storylines feel planned, that the energy is off, that the loyalty to certain cast members is obvious, and that the heart of the show left when Melody left. When the viewers say, cancel it, that's a sign. When multiple people say, I stopped watching when Mel left, that's another sign. When people say they don't want to watch negativity after dealing with the real world, that's the final sign. Entertainment is supposed to be an escape, not another emotional battle. Some people still think the show could be saved, but only if major changes happen. They want new people who are real, interesting, and honest. People who don't hide, don't pretend, don't run from conflict, and aren't obsessed with making someone else the villain. They want cast members like the ones on Bell Collective, who show their flaws, show their growth, and bring real emotions to the screen. And the truth is, LAMH has people who could help if they were used right. Nail has potential. Kimmy used to bring balance when she wasn't aligning herself with Letitia. Wanda brings energy whether you love her or hate her. Dr. Francis brings clarity. But the men as a group aren't giving anything. They aren't interesting. They aren't engaging. They aren't evolving. They're either controlling, hiding, or pretending. And when the male cast is that bland, the show loses depth. Martell is the biggest example. He started strong, but once the truth came out about what he was doing behind the scenes, everything crumbled. His good father image fell apart once people realized he likes to perform being a father more than he actually commits to it. If you disrespect the mother of your children, you aren't a good father. Kids feel everything. They see everything. And he treated Melody like an enemy instead of a partner, even after the divorce. That's toxic, not entertaining. And the sad part, he never sees himself as the problem. Everything is about control. Everything is about ego. Everything is about making sure she doesn't move forward faster than him. That kind of energy drains a show. That kind of energy poisons a cast. That kind of energy destroys whole storylines. And now, with Melody gone, viewers are saying the truth out loud. The show isn't the same. The show lost its purpose. The show lost its leader, and without the person who held the show together, everything else feels empty. It's not just the cast that's falling apart. It's the structure, the scheduling, the breaks, the production, the storyline direction, all of it. And that's why people think Carlos and Martell had a hand in the downfall. Martell brought chaos. Carlos let it continue, and the audience walked away. If a show becomes exhausting to watch, people stop watching. It's that simple. So, now the question is, can the show be saved? Or is it really over? Fans are saying it's time to let it go. They want peace. They want positivity. They want entertainment that doesn't feel like punishment. And they're not willing to wait through endless breaks and forced storylines for a show that no longer values their loyalty. The ratings are low. The comments are harsh. The interest is fading. And unless something drastic happens, this might be the end of LAMH as we know it.